Assassination Nation finally came out. I saw a trailer to this a few months back, and I painted a much different picture in my head from that trailer. So I don't know if it was my fault or, the trailer's fault, but it definitely felt like a misrepresentation of the final product that I got. I recommended this to somebody, so we watched it together, and I was like, oh, come on, it'll be a fun comedy. It looks like a Mean Girls meets Heathers or something. It is not. It felt more like kids at times, especially in that first act. I was like, oh man, this is really dark. They do have a warning in the opening, not just text, but a bunch of random flashing imagery, and it's all stylized, and it says, this includes rape and torture and swearing and whatever. And I was like, oh crap. And I thought it was just going to be more playful and fun, and that kind of felt fun. But the person I was watching this with is not really crazy about that kind of stuff. So they're like, yeah, this sounds really funny. And I'm like, oh shit. But yeah, so this is about 4 young girls that live in a town called Salem. Yes, they're doing a play on the Salem witch trials, obviously, in one way or another. And they live in a typical suburban town where everyone is trying to pretend that they are picture perfect when they all have dark secrets. Real life. And there is a hacker in town, and they release some images and some videos that are incriminating to a mayor in town. And of course, everyone jumps on their high horse and is holier than thou and wants him fired and whatever. And after his response to those allegations, things get even crazier. The hacker then releases more information on this high school's principal, which goes all sorts of wrong, and people yet again jump up on their soapboxes and preach to anyone who will listen how righteous they are and how unrighteous everyone else is. The internet. Because for me, this obviously is a social commentary on a lot of different things, but the things that I took from it most, and I did enjoy this movie to an extent. I'm not honestly sure where I'm at with it yet, because there's a lot of ideas that are being thrown at the wall. I'm not sure how many stick. But the things that I took from this film that I did really enjoy was the whole social commentary on the internet and what it does to people, and how people can sit behind their computer screens and they can judge others, and they can put out these impossible standards, and young girls and the influences that they get, and boys of course as well. But this film more paints the pictures for young women and the expectations of their sexuality and their appearance and the way that they're supposed to act, the way that they're supposed to be. And of course, as I said, this plays into everyone in this film and every person. Everyone's held to this such high regard when their stuff is on display. But then when those people who are pretending they're holier than thou's information gets out, then they want blood, then they want death, because they don't want their secrets exposed. And all of a sudden, this hacker is wrong, and they want everyone dead. And so this town kind of rises up once it gets out that one of these girls might be responsible for being the hacker, and they want bloodshed, which this film really kind of lays all its cards on the table in the beginning. So it's hard to even give spoilers except for maybe the last bit of it. But outside of that, the film pretty much tells you in the very beginning everything that's going to happen in the film, and then lets it transpire in front of you for your own viewing experience. This film is very hyper stylized. It's a very amazing technical achievement, to be honest. There's a lot of really cool stylized shots, compositions, and whatnot. But also, there's this really cool long one-take tracking shot that goes up and down and through a house. That shit alone, just from a technical angle, was really, really impressive. The director here, who is the son of a very prolific director, I think he does a really good job here. He's a young kid. I want to say he's 26 or something. So, and he wrote and directed this. It's a good effort. I think it's his second film. There's going to be complaints. There's going to be people who are tearing this film apart, saying that it's too this or it's too that. But I rather enjoyed a lot of it, and I think the performances in this from pretty much all four of the lead actresses. The only one that I'm familiar with is Suki Waterhouse. She was just in a movie I watched the other day called New Year, New Year, which is an episode of Into the Dark on Hulu. And I thought she was excellent in that, and I thought she was excellent in this. And we also have Bill Skarsgård, yes, Pennywise himself in this film, and he plays a fucking creep. But for me, the whole theme of this movie, outside of the social commentary on the internet and standards and all that, the thing that really, really stuck with me, and the thing that I was really seeing not only resonate with me, but I was seeing as a constant on screen and in the film, is hypocrisy. It's the whole, pot calling the kettle black kind of thing. It's one side of the coin being like, well, here's the standards that I think you should live up to, but I shouldn't have to live up to any of those things. And those are just constantly being brought up in this film, and in very unique and smart ways. And now the film does kind of promise a lot of stuff that I don't think it delivers on, as far as someone who's coming at it from a horror fan's perspective. Because when they tell me there's going to be rape and gore and all this shit, and then it's a warning and this and that, coming from a guy who's seen a Serbian film and all these crazy things, yes, I know it's a United States film, it went into the theaters and whatnot. I was just expecting, when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, because I was watching with someone who didn't like that. So in a way, I'm kind of glad that it didn't live up to that, because I think this person would have freaking chastised me. But from my own personal viewing experience, I watched it being like, what gore? It's gore to maybe a common, average, everyday moviegoer, but to give a proper warning beforehand, I expect gore. I expect something like, oh shit, good thing you warned everyone in the audience in case they're, they got some kind of aversion to that. They want to be out of the theater and not see anything like that. When I saw the gore or the rape or whatever it is, I was like, that's it? I mean, I've sat through I Spit on Your Grave, which has like a 25-minute rape scene, so I guess my standards are much higher. But when I see a warning beforehand, that was the only thing that kind of threw me a little bit there. But it's nor here nor there. I just thought I'd mention it for any other horror fans who see that opening and might be like, what? But yeah, I mean, this deals with some really ugly parts of society. There's women are held to much different standards these days. Physical appearance, their sexuality, what they're required or expected to do in the bedroom, or what they're expected to do through their phones by exposing themselves in these horrible ways. And I think that the young girl, I don't know what the actress's name is, she's very good, but what she says to her principal when he's trying to get down on her for her graphic drawings that she gives him. Well, one drawing in particular, but she explains it in a way that I was like, yes, I was sitting there the whole time like, yes, I agree. So things like that really, really worked for me. So I don't know if I agreed or I liked every second of this film. And plus, there's a lot of stuff that's very hard to watch and digest in this film, because it is a lot of bullying and a lot of humiliation, and there's homophobia, and it shows all of the dark sides of things. But it's all for greater good, in my opinion. It's all to show the hypocrisy of it all, as I had said, and maybe open up your eyes and your mind to what you're doing, so you can look yourself in the mirror and be like, I guess I'm kind of like that. I need to rein it in a little bit. But I don't know if that will ever work, but you can at least try. But anyways, let me know if you saw this movie. Let me know when you see the movie what you thought. I'm very curious. I know that this only has like a 5.7 on IMDb, but that's probably because it's a challenging film or people find it pretentious. I don't know. But I think from a technical standpoint, I think it's a very cool film with all the split screen shots, and the lighting is really cool. It's a very cool looking movie. You got Bella Thorne in here, which I know a lot of people hate. She's not in it a ton, but you got familiar faces throughout. So, I don't know. I think it's worth a watch. to check it out. I think maybe like 20, 30 minutes in. It feels like The Purge at times. There's a lot of Purge feel in here. Almost so much so that I feel like this borrowed pretty heavily from The Purge at times. And it even has like a Kill Bill Sucker Punch feel in moments towards the very, very end, which you'll see. But I dug it. Yeah, I recommend it. So anyway, guys. All right, let me know what you thought. Adios.